I want to talk about what we saw over this weekend because the president is in a tough spot and his defenders were out in full force. And this is what they said yesterday.
I've asked you a specific question. I'd like a specific answer. The president has the State Department. He's got the CIA. He's got the Pentagon. He's got a number of other agencies. Why did he use 3 private lawyers to get information on Biden from the Ukrainian government rather than go through all of the agencies of his government?
2 different points. Number one.
How about answering my question?
The president was pushing the president of Ukraine to investigate a political rival. I cannot believe that that is okay with you. I can't believe it's okay with you. If this is a principle...
It's not okay because he didn't, but he didn't do that.
It's in the transcript. We all read it.
I read the transcript.
President Zelensky says we are almost ready to buy more javelins from the United States for defense purposes. And President Trump replies, I would like you to do us a favor, though.
Well, you just added another word.
No, it's in the transcript.
You said, I'd like you to do a favor, though?
Yes, it's in the White House transcript.
I mean, that was kind of disastrous when you look at these attempts because it's a difficult position to defend.
Yeah, I mean, they did not attempt to defend what was being said and done on that call. Everyone, almost to the person, tried to basically just change the subject to deflect to Democrats trying to undermine President Trump from the beginning, to say that the whistleblower really wasn't a whistleblower. There's not much out there in the way of a defense of what was actually said on the call, and it's very telling because it's very hard to explain that. It seemed like Kevin McCarthy hadn't even read the transcript. He wasn't familiar with the key points of the call, and it's not the first time that when he's faced with questions about what's in black and white on that piece of paper, he hasn't been able to answer for.
In a sign of growing frustration that he faces the real prospect of impeachment, President Trump is demanding to find out the identity of the administration official who blew the whistle on his phone call with the leader of Ukraine about Joe Biden.
Well, we're trying to find out about a whistleblower. When you have a whistleblower that reports things that were incorrect, as you know, and you probably now have figured it out, the statement I made to the president of Ukraine, a good man, a nice man, was perfect. It was perfect.
That drew a quick response from the whistleblower's attorney, who tweeted, the intel community whistleblower is entitled to anonymity. Law and policy support this, and the individual is not to be retaliated against. Doing so is a violation of federal law. Lobbing grenades from his social media bunker, the president tore into House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff for mocking Mr. Trump's call at a hearing last week, tweeting, Adam Schiff illegally made up a fake and terrible statement. Arrest for treason?
It's a disgrace. This whole thing is a disgrace. There's been tremendous corruption, and we're seeking it. It's called Drain the Swamp. There's been corruption on the other side. There's been corruption like you've never seen.
White House aides have grown frustrated with Mr. Trump's clinging to a bogus conspiracy theory that it was Ukraine, not Russia, that meddled in the 2016 election. A false claim former counterterrorism advisor Tom Bossert says he's tried to ask the president to abandon.
And at this point, I am deeply frustrated with what he and the legal team is doing and repeating that debunked theory to the president. It sticks in his mind when he hears it over and over again. And for clarity here, George, let me just again repeat that it has no validity.
Over the weekend, the president warned his removal from office would cause a civil war-like fracture. That prompted one House Republican to tweet, I have visited nations ravaged by civil war. I've never imagined such a quote to be repeated by a president. This is beyond repugnant. Mr. Trump's 2016 foe summed it up by calling the president a destructive force of nature.
A corrupt human tornado.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says his chamber would have to consider removing the president if the House votes to impeach.
Under the Senate rules, we're required to take it up if the House does go down that path, and we'll follow the Senate rules. It's a Senate rule related to impeachment that would take 67 votes to change, so I would have no choice but to take it up.
Even the president's top surrogates are struggling to spin the Ukraine investigation.
President Trump replies, I would like you to do us a favor, though.
Well, you just added another word.
No, it's in the transcript.
You said, I'd like you to do a favor, though?
Yes, it's in the White House transcript.
One top White House official strangely insisted it's the president who's blowing the whistle.
The president is the whistleblower here. The president of the United States is the whistleblower. And this individual is a saboteur trying to undermine a democratically elected government.
Just in this hour, let me just recap for you here. The president's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, subpoenaed by House Democrats. Our new CNN poll reveals 47% support the impeachment and removal of President Trump. And now an official confirming to CNN the president pressed Australia's prime minister in a recent phone call, pressing the prime minister to help the attorney general with his review of the origins of the Russia probe. The story was first reported by the New York Times, but CNN's Evan Perez joins me now with more of his reporting. So you're learning a little bit more about this call and also about the apparently the prompting that was done by the Attorney General to get the president to make that call.
That's right, Erica, and it goes beyond Australia. The Attorney General is closely managing this investigation of the origins of the Mueller investigation, the 2016 election interference. And so one of the things that they're doing, according to an official we talked to just a little while ago, is that they're asking, the Justice Department is asking the president to intervene and ask other foreign countries to help with this investigation, which is being managed by John Durham, a prosecutor out of Connecticut. And so it goes beyond Australia. There are other countries that provided intelligence that ended up being part of the Mueller investigation that now the Justice Department and the Trump administration say they need the foreign help, these help of these foreign countries with. So stay tuned. We'll see whether or not he has talked to other countries with exactly the same thing in mind.
Americans are now evenly divided on impeachment, with a notable rise among independents and Republicans supporting President Trump's removal from office. A new CNN poll just released finds 47% of Americans believe the president should be impeached, up from 41% in May. The change is not fueled by Democrats. Roughly three-quarters favor impeachment, as they did during our poll 4 months ago. But the support among independents has grown by 11 points and by 8 points among Republicans. For now, public sentiment is shifting. 45% of Americans oppose the historic move, down from 54% in May. A week after Speaker Nancy Pelosi opened an impeachment inquiry, she said Democrats would build their case on patriotism, not partisan politics.
Let us try not to make it further divisive, but we cannot ignore our oath of office to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States.
The call for impeachment is resonating among younger Americans, the poll found, with 60% of those under 35 now in favor of removing Trump from office, compared to 43% who felt that way in May. The shift comes from within his own party. Among Republicans and GOP-leaning independents under age 50, support for impeachment has climbed from 9% in May to 22% now. As the House is set to begin hearings and depositions this week, the poll finds that 48% of Americans say the president abused his power to gain political advantage against his rival Joe Biden in his conversations with the Ukrainian president. 39% say Trump did not improperly use his office, and 10% say they need to learn more. While the poll shows unmistakable movement, Democrats still have a case to make to the broader American public.
He wants to mount a defense. I'm certainly willing to listen to it, but that's the evidence that's in front of us right now.
Convicting the president remains an extraordinarily high bar, needing a vote of 2/3 of the Republican-controlled Senate. But Majority Leader Mitch McConnell saying today the Senate will consider any impeachment articles.
Well, under the Senate rules, we're required to take it up if the House does go down that path, and we'll follow the Senate rules.